The wind was cold. The water beneath him looked peaceful. But inside Kevin Hines, a storm raged that no one could see. And in just a moment, everything was going to change. Not just for Kevin, but for the millions his story would someday reach. Kevin Hines was only 19 years old when he decided to end his life. On the outside, he looked like an average teenager, tall, energetic, always smiling in school pictures. But behind that smile was pain, relentless, invisible pain that wouldn't let go. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder at 17, Kevin fought daily battles with paranoia, depression, and hallucinations. His mind whispered lies that he was a burden, that the world would be better off without him. And he believed them. The second his hands left the railing, he regretted it. "What have I just done?" he thought. "God, please save me." Kevin plummeted 220 feet in just 4 seconds. The impact shattered his spine, broke bones, tore internal organs. But against all odds, he survived. In the freezing water, as he struggled to stay afloat with shattered limbs, he was kept above water by something unexpected, a sea lion. Yes, a real sea lion circled beneath him, nudging him to stay conscious until the Coast Guard arrived. Kevin was rescued, alive. Doctors said he shouldn't have lived. They said no one survives that jump. But Kevin did, and he took it as a second chance not just to live, but to help others live too. Through years of grueling recovery, physically and mentally, Kevin chose purpose over pain. He began speaking at schools, at hospitals, in prisons, to soldiers, to students, to CEOs, anyone who would listen. He told the truth that pain is real, but so is hope. That one conversation, one human connection, can save a life. Kevin's voice echoed across the world. His story went viral, reaching millions. He wrote books, was featured in documentaries, and met with world leaders. But he never forgot why he was doing it. He wasn't famous because he fell. He was powerful because he rose. And today, Kevin Hines is one of the most influential mental health advocates alive. Not because he survived a suicide attempt, but because he turned his pain into a purpose, and then used that purpose to save thousands of lives. You are never alone. Pain might whisper lies, but hope shouts louder. Kevin's story proves that 1 second, one decision can change everything. That even in your darkest moment, life is still worth fighting for. If you're struggling, talk to someone. Call a friend. Reach out. Stay. The bridge between despair and hope. Lessons from Kevin Hines. What if your darkest day became the first chapter of your brightest future? Kevin Hines didn't plan to survive. On September 25, 2000, at just 19 years old, he stood on the edge of the Golden Gate Bridge with a broken heart and a shattered mind. The chaos inside was so loud, so relentless, that he believed there was only one way to silence it. But fate had other plans. The second his hands let go of the railing, the decision that felt final suddenly became the loudest regret of his life, and by some miracle, he survived. This is not just a story of survival. This is a story of awakening, of what it means to hit absolute rock bottom and then claw your way toward light. Kevin Hines' journey is more than personal, it's universal. Because every human being, at some point, wrestles with pain, isolation, self-doubt, or darkness. And through Kevin's experience, we learn one of the most profound truths of life. Hope is real, help is real, and healing is always possible. Let's talk about the lessons this story teaches us. Lessons that can change lives, and in some cases, save them. Your mind can lie to you, but that doesn't mean you have to believe it. Kevin was battling bipolar disorder. On the outside, he smiled. On the inside, he was crumbling. The voices in his head screamed that he was worthless, broken, unfixable, but they were lying. So often we internalize our struggle as our identity, but pain is not your identity. Mental illness is not your identity. Failure is not your identity. These are experiences, not definitions. And when your own thoughts betray you, the bravest thing you can do is speak up. Kevin teaches us that silence can kill, but speaking out can heal. One moment can change everything, both ways. The decision to jump was made in a split second. The regret came even faster. Kevin says the moment his feet left the bridge, he knew he wanted to live. How many of us make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions? Your life is not a moment. It's a mosaic of moments. And if you hold on through the storm, the sun will rise again. It always does. You just have to stay long enough to see it. The people around us matter more than we know. Before Kevin jumped, he desperately hoped someone, anyone, would see his pain. A stranger, a glance, a single word could have made the difference. But no one did. This isn't just a lesson for those who suffer, it's a lesson for all of us. You never know whose life you're brushing against. A smile, a hello, a small act of kindness, these can be lifelines. We all have the power to be a bridge, not to despair, but to hope. Let's choose to see each other again. Your purpose may rise from your deepest pain. Kevin's survival wasn't just a miracle. It was a mission. He didn't just live, he turned his life into a message. From hospitals to stages, from prisons to schools, Kevin began speaking to thousands, then millions, about mental health, suicide prevention, and hope. His words have saved lives. His story has become a light in people's darkness. And that's the power of pain transformed. You may not know it yet, but your scars can one day become someone else's map. You are never alone, and you never have to do this alone. The greatest lie pain tells us is that we're isolated, that no one understands, that we're broken beyond repair. But healing begins the moment we realize we are not alone. Kevin's journey proves the power of connection, the support of his father, the guidance of doctors, the compassion of strangers, the community of survivors. Whatever you're facing, reach out, whether it's to a friend, a family member, a professional, or even a stranger. Asking for help isn't weakness, it's courage. There is always a hand ready to pull you back from the edge. So, what do you do with this story? You let it awaken you. If Kevin Hines could find light in the darkest abyss, then so can you. If a man who fell 220 feet into freezing water could rise again and build a legacy, then so can you. You were not born to quit. You were not built to break. And your story is far from over. There's someone out there who needs your survival. Your growth, your voice. Don't rob the world of the gift you are. Let this be your turning point, not the day you watched a video, but the day you felt something stir inside you. A whisper that says, this pain won't win. Not today. Take that whisper and turn it into a roar. Turn it into action. Talk to someone. Help someone. Create something. Fight for your healing. Build a life so full of purpose that your pain has no room left to grow. You're not done yet, and the best chapters of your life, they're still being written. So if you're still breathing, there's still hope. And if this story touched you, don't just walk away. Share it, live it, be the reason someone else holds on one more day. If you've ever felt broken, lost, or alone, this channel is your home. Hit that subscribe button, because here we don't just tell stories. We build hope, one story at a time. And if you know someone who needs this message, send it to them right now, because sometimes all it takes to save a life is a story. Subscribe for more true stories that prove anything is possible.